Port City FC versus Burlington United. That is the matchup we have tonight under the lights at historic Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. If you were here for the women's Port City FC versus NCFC game, we welcome you back. If you're new to the stream, well then like, share, and comment. It's going to be a great night of some football action. We'll introduce the Burlington United starters as of right now. So here we are, the starters for Burlington United. Number 32, Daniel Alvarenga. Number 97, John Patno, he's in goal. Number 5, Junior Ariano. Number 35, Brennan Lagana. Number 15, Diego Pastor. Number 22, Manuel Trias. Number 20, Jackson Marshall. Number 10, Freddie Gomez. Number 7, Robert Elliott. Number 17, Clayton Verdon. And number 31, Joseph Hurley. Now the starters for Port City FC. It's going to be number 20, William Fatzinger, making his first start of the year. Number 11, Caleb Powell. We've seen him make an impact already. Number 8, Jack Steele. Number 10, Adam Holtz. Number 18, Max Menenke. Number 19, Hunter Wilson. Number 6, the captain, Jackson Menisi. Number 2, Sebastian Tepe. In goal today for Port City FC's 00, Kevin Christensen. And last but not least, number 5, Martin Rivera, who's wearing the captain's band instead of Menisi tonight. But him and Menisi switch off, so those are your starters for Port City FC and Burlington United. And we welcome you here to Legion Stadium, Wilmington, North Carolina. The atmosphere, great. The crowd's a little bit shy tonight as it rained earlier this afternoon. It was a thunderstorm, that's for sure. But NPSL action goes on, and it's a beautiful night here. The rain has gone, the thunder has gone, and we'll step aside quickly for the national anthem and come back for the opening kickoff. So as teams shake hands and we get ready for this affair between Port City FC and Burlington United, I want to welcome you in to this broadcast. My name is Zachary Buttright. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you comment about who you think is going to win this game and what you think the final score might be. We'd love to see your comments on the stream and in the comment section. So as we get underway, Port City FC, they'll be wearing their all navy kits and going left to right on your screen. Christensen will be in his yellow top. As for Burlington United, they're in their all ocean blue, you might call it, with the goalkeeper wearing all pink. Sorry for those folks out there that are colorblind. That's definitely going to be a tough matchup, but colors mix and it's tough sometimes, but a beautiful matchup. These teams have met once before on the season. It was a 4-1 win for Port City FC at Burlington United. Burlington's goal was scored by their captain, number 10, the Chileno from Chile. 4 goals scored by Port City FC, 2 by Aiden Payne, who is not on the roster tonight. He's not starting and he's not on the substitutes list, so he will not be playing in this game. That is definitely something to keep an eye on as this season goes on for Port City FC, but tonight they won't have the star power of Payne. So before we get underway, 3 minutes past the hour. Port City FC gets us underway, and Jack Steele will dump it into their attacking third. And pressure already by Port City FC. Patno already facing pressure, but was able to get out of it, and now Burlington will possess once more. The last game for Port City FC has Caleb Powell now on top of it quickly. Looking inside, and it's one back off the big touch, but it's dribbled out of bounds by Adam Holt. Holt just with a big touch off his right foot there. Port City FC's last game, though, was a 3-2 defeat to Charlottetown Hops. What a game that was. Port City FC, they led in that game twice, 1-0 and 2-1 before they gave up 2 goals later in the game. So Manisi there gets called for the foul. He's also wearing the captain's band. He wasn't listed as first on the captain's list tonight, but he is. There's pressure by Jack Steele. Powell now pressuring the right back for Burlington. You know, it's always different facing a team the second time. Obviously, you know more about what the team is going to put out on the field and what different tactics will be played by both of these teams. We'll find out here soon. Nice touch by Menenke, but defensive effort back by Elliott was able to win the ball back, and now Burlington possessing more than they have in their loss to Port City FC. So far on the season, Burlington, they've got 4 losses. Obviously 1 to Port City FC and 1 draw. They sit bottom of the table right now. As for Port City FC, they're smack dab in the middle, 2 wins, 2 losses at 6 points, but a big chance to potentially jump up the table as they've only played 4 games, and most of their teams have played 5, if not 6 games already. Menenke pressuring. Clayton Verdon was able to get it off to Elliott. Now a couple triangulation passes in the middle by Burlington. It's lost there by Alvarenga. Alvarenga, though, down presses to win it back for Burlington. So passing around in the back, Manuel Trias played it off, and now it's dumped down the channel. Christensen stays on his line. A little push in the back there, and a physical battle, but it ends up just going out harmlessly for a goal kick on the end line. Pressure there by Burlington and their striker, Brennan Lagana. Vernon plays it back now to Valverde. Valverde looking for a big switch across the field. He does do so and gets it on the foot, but Tepe was there and he finds Steele. A lot of this Burlington United team, obviously in their first season, their inaugural season, so they've definitely had some growing pains. As we said, they haven't won a game as of yet, looking to change that tonight. But they've got a lot of guys they've got a lot of Lenore Rhine guys, the college team up in Hickory, North Carolina. That's a Division II school. As for some other players, they've got a lot of USA South presence. That's a D3 conference here in the state of North Carolina, and a couple in Virginia. They got some Greensboro players, Pfeiffer players, and William Peace. Manuel Trias, an ex-professional player, center back for Burlington. So some experience on this team, but a lot of mixed chemistry. So they're still trying to figure that out in their inaugural season. As for Port City FC, they've got a lot of guys spread throughout this Southeast and all different levels for the players. So Fatzinger there played some defense, and now after that throw in, Menenke is fouled, so it will be a throw, or a free kick, excuse me, for Port City FC. Hunter Wilson in the back once again for Port City FC, finds Christensen, who's got space and time, and he tries to find an outlet, but he finds the stands instead. So it's Burlington ball once more, and we'll see them pass around the back. That's about all we've seen so far in this game. About 6 minutes into the ball game, and no shots really for either team. Trias found his teammate of Alvarenga. Alvarenga, one of the players from Lenore Rhine. Now Powell pressuring hard. Trias has to run back and get it to his goalkeeper of Patno, but he decides to go out wide instead. And now Burlington has lost it on this near side. Won back quickly though by Trias. Rivera was looking just to clear that ball and eliminate any danger. Foul called now. Adam Holt fell to the turf, and a yellow card early on. 7th minute of the game. That's on Jackson Marshall, so the right back. Jackson Marshall, number 20, has to be careful now the rest of the match.
Number 20, Jackson Marshall.
Interesting to see how that'll affect the right back's performance, and that might be a side that Port City FC now can go on and know that Marshall cannot go into a tackle 100%. But Burlington just trying to get through this free kick now. About 41 yards or so out. It's dumped in by Jack Steele. Patno stayed on his line, and it's headed out, going out of bounds for a corner kick for Port City FC, first of the night.
This corner kick sponsored by Riceville Beach Brewery, proudly fueling local soccer with local craft
So Jack
beer.
Steele will take it now. It was Adam Holt there holding his place, but now Steele with an outswinger. Right towards the 6-yard box, punched out by Patno. Now at the top of the box, shielded off. Strong challenge. Now inside the box, it gets back to Jack Steele. He'll look to whip this one in. He does. In swinger, a back post, and oh, he just didn't get the right kind of contact on it. Did Manisi. He was offsides anyway, but Manisi with a great run as we'll watch it back here. Cross in from Steele and punched out. Good punch by Patno. We'll get a look at that shot just in a second. As for now, we see Burlington possessing, but it's stolen by Minisi. Now Steele finds Menenke. Menenke doing a scissor kick or two. Finds Minisi. Cutting back out, finding Menenke once more. Big step over move there from Menenke. Minisi now crossing it in back post, wide open, looks to play it back stick and didn't find it. Tried the long looping attack instead of a direct one there. So here's that earlier cross where Minisi was back post, just unable to get the left foot there in time, was offsides anyway. But Minisi creating early for Port City FC. He's the one that just played that cross back post as well. So Patno decides to take the goal kick on the other side, started on the right, and then meandered his way towards the left side, that left corner of the 6-yard box, almost as a stalling tactic. You see that sometimes if a team's under pressure, just as Burlington was here, but they seem to weather the storm for right now. Rivera pops that one up into the sky to Wilson. Now Menenke trying to keep that ball in for Port City. He does now. And he finds a through ball. Running onto it now is Alex Walker. Walker driving in, trying to find the cross. It sits right on the PK spot. Saved! What a brilliant stop there by the defender of Burlington. He positioned himself brilliantly as Patno was beat, but the goal was not scored thanks to the defensive effort of the man on the yellow card. That was Jackson Marshall. He's making up for that yellow card, and we'll get a look at that replay. There's the cross in from Wilson. Marshall kind of had a bad touch there, but it's saved off the leg. So we remain knotted at 0 goals. Nothing to separate these two as of yet. It's a corner kick now for Burlington United. We haven't seen much offense for them after Port City started strong. It's cleared out by Minisi. Now it's a long-range effort there, and it's blocked away. A lot of bodies there. Robert Elliott took the strike. Now Elliott trying to retain possession. Minisi punches it out. Now Wilson on the run. It's a 3-on-2 for Port City FC. Can they make something happen with this? This is Rivera now, crossing it. It's headed up into the sky, and it's boomed out there by Burlington. Long-range effort from Steele. That one never came down, though. That was always sailing high as the action picks up here at Legion Stadium. Comment and let us know which team you think is going to score first. Once again, thank you for tuning in to tonight's game between Port City FC and Burlington United. Here's that replay of the shot. Rivera crossed it in, it's headed up, and it'll eventually come to Steele. And now we have a player down for Burlington. Robert Elliott looked like maybe his hamstring. He just took that long-range effort, but there was way too many bodies for Port City in the box. There's his effort. Blocked off the line by the wall of Navy. So it's going to be the end of the day for Robert Elliott. You only get 5 subs here in the NPSL. That's 1 for Burlington United. That's a tough break for them. Number 11, Rodrigo Gudino, will come in now. So you can't miss Gudino out there. He's got that white arm sleeve. So any Gudino fans, you know where he is at all times, that's for sure. Once again, though, thanks for tuning in to tonight's game. Beautiful night here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Remember to like this video and comment on it and share it. Once again, comment who you think might score the first goal. We're 13 minutes in. Love to get those predictions in before halftime. And would love to see who's right. And we always love fan interaction. That is one of the the things we enjoy the most on these broadcasts. So back to the action. Powell there collides with a strong presence of Trias. Powell stays down for the moment. Patno still playing with it, and it's back over to Marshall, who made a great save to keep it scoreless. Last man back. There's that collision between Powell and Trias. A fair challenge, but physicality ramps up in this game, that's for sure. And for Burlington, they know that they need to be more physical as well because they lost the first meeting 4-1. So they're going to need to play with more intensity to try and keep in the game. And so far defensively, they have a couple of chances that have gone astray for Port City FC. Now Marshall dumps this one long. Throw into Trias. And the right center back is Joseph Hurley. Excuse me, I've been saying Marshall, but Hurley, who plays at William Peace in Raleigh, one of those USA South players, the D3 conference. Now it's stolen back here by Rivera. So Manisi will look to reset possession to Wilson, now back to Manisi. Marshall did get the yellow card though. The center midfielder. Kind of on almost a rotational position on the field. He's been moving all up the pitch. Now here he is, Marshall. Marshall over to Hurley. Now Burlington trying to create a couple good strings of passes now. And there's a through ball, but a little miscommunication there as they don't find Verdin. Menenke unable to get down to the touchline before that ball went out of bounds. Trias now over to Hurley. We've seen Trias to Hurley a lot tonight, and Hurley will just dump it down the channel. This time he plays it on the floor, and he'll keep it there. Now that's a decent through ball. Christensen decided to stay out of his box. He probably could have backed into it and collected it with his hands, but chose not to, and now it'll be a throw for Burlington, so it worked out for Burlington, and they'll have a throw on the offensive half now. And driving in, that was Verdin. Menenke, though, took a skill move right into the defending leg of Gudino. So Hurley with lots of time after the long ball from Christensen finds Hurley. Gudino plays it to his left center back. Burlington going with a three-back formation. They've got 4 players right now on the back line of Port City FC. They've got man-to-man, which is never something you want necessarily on the back line.
Thanks, guys.
And that's what Burlington's looking for, that through ball. Here they go. They found a connection now. But offsides was Lagana. Not a good angle necessarily there, but referee on that far side called it. Lagana offsides. And that was a good connection Lagana had to Jerez, the Chilean, the captain for Burlington United. There's Holt, able to keep that one off his thighs and in bounds, but Powell there lost it, and Marshall trying to connect with Verdon, unable to do so. Now it's back with Powell. The ball just bouncing all over the place. Neither team in that string of possession wanted to keep it. And Burlington throw, correct decision from that replay there. Now Trias. Trias over, and now once again booted long. Jack Steele booms that one into the bleachers. Fans skirt their way out of the way of the ball. Menenke heavy pressure and ends up fouling there Pastor Valverde. Valverde stood his ground nicely and made sure that he was always in between him, or he was always in between the ball and Menenke, the defending player. And kids at home, if you're watching, that's exactly what you want to do to try and get a foul. Put yourself in between the ball and the player, and you'll have a good chance of either keeping possession or receiving a foul. Didn't last long for Burlington, though, as they just lost it out of bounds. Rivera trying to find Menenke, but headed back out by Arieno. It gets to Verdon's feet. Verdon now cuts inside, cutting more inside towards the PK spot, curls it. Oh, that had some late turn on it, and Christensen had cinder blocks on his feet, but he knew it was going wide. That's always the goalkeeper story, right? I played goalkeeper, so I know all about that. That you have a feeling when it's going wide. So foul there. Jerez fouled. Alvarenga coming into the box, the right wing back for Burlington. Jerez will look to dump this one long, and the runs did not match the delivery. Not sure if it was a miscommunication there or what, but definitely some sort of communication lapse. So Burlington's got 3 players right on the edge of the 18 as far as they can be. Christensen was trying to play it short, but they choose to play it long instead. So all the way back to Patno now. Patno finds Hurley. Hurley just making sure Powell stays on his toes and gets himself a little bit more breathing room. Now Hurley has to be quick with his feet there under pressure by Holt. Patno finds Hurley once again. Holt pressuring though. Higher press now from Port City. And Hurley just has to boot that one out of bounds. So Port City FC gets what they want. A throw in right in front of the half field line. So in the offensive half for Port City FC. And Steele fouled. Took a nice touch inside and then got clipped. Big switch over. Menenke with space, now being pressured. Valverde pressuring him. Now there's Wilson inside, took a touch, but good recovery by Jerez. Jerez was right there on the spot. Now Jerez loses it. Port City FC curls it. Great save there by Patno. Able to get down to his right side. Tepe took a nice touch and fired it with the inside of his left, trying to curl it around the keeper, but the keeper's arm was better than the curl of the shot.
This corner kick sponsored by Floriana's Restaurant, Wilmington's home for authentic Italian flavor.
So corner kick now for Port City. Steele will whip it in, but can't get past the first defender of Lagana. And Meneke on the far side now will take a crack. That one, though, never had any dip on it, and he's upset with himself. That ball just was always sailing up. A long ball once again by Valverde. And Fatzinger doing good, coming over from his left center back position. Oh, a great leave there by Powell. Now gets Meneke in potentially. Meneke getting past Trias, trying to get some shifty footwork, does right into the hands of Patno though. Meneke did all the hard work, had a nice look at a shot. But Valverde just caused enough trouble there, as you saw, and was in his peripherals enough to make the shot go right into Patno's lap. So Wilson now tries to find Meneke, but it's cut out by Valverde. That one goes all the way back to Christensen though. Adriana says it's Bora time. So we will see. Don't forget to like and share if you're watching on the stream right now. We do appreciate your views, and if you want to comment what you think the first goal of the game might be and who it might come by and what team will score it, we'd love to hear what you think. Meneke pushed off the ball there by Trias, but no foul, no action deemed as detrimental to a goal-scoring opportunity. But yeah, once again, comment on who you think is going to score the first goal of the game. It's going to come soon, it feels like. The momentum of the game feels like it might be coming soon, that's for sure. You can just feel it when there might be a goal. Maybe I'm wrong and maybe we'll see 0-0, but Port City FC has had 5 goals in all 4 of their games so far on the season, so I don't think that we'll be shy of goals tonight when the time is up. A little sneaky skill action there, the little nutmeg. And who said players at this level don't have skill? That was a nice bit of footwork there. Now we get it back underway. Marshall to Hurley, now back to Patno. To Trias. Trias into Marshall. Over to Valverde. Valverde now with a big switch to his fellow center back of Hurley. And we've seen a lot more possession from Burlington United because of the presence of 4 attacking players, which limits the ability of Port City FC to press. So they're kind of giving the 3 center backs time to play with the ball, it looks like. Now Steele pressures heavily though, and Hurley is able to evade that dangling leg, and it stays with Burlington. Adam Holt's upset about that as you see him throw the ball on the turf. Trias inside to Gudino. Burlington United, they play with the 3 center backs, passing back and forth. There's a good ball. We haven't seen one like this before, but they sometimes include the center defensive mid. They rotate that in and out, and then they get into offensive half like this and try and create something. Here's Jerez, but Jerez is choosing to go backwards. Hurley now looking for the run of Marshall. He found the run of Marshall, but the pass had a little too much power behind it. So the 29th minute here in Wilmington. A couple of good scoring chances for Port City FC with some great saves by Patno, one towards his right off of tip his left foot, and then a save by Marshall off the line almost after he gave the ball up right on the penalty spot. Patno had to be aware, and he booted that one all the way over the away stands on that far side. So a handball card called on Gudino. Yeah, and he slapped that one down with his left hand. So a dangerous position once more for Port City FC, about 30 yards away. Jack Steele won't take this one. We've seen Steele take most of the free kicks and corners for Port City FC. It looks like it'll be Minisi and maybe Adam Holt. They're both standing over the ball now. Holt now running towards the end line. That one took a touch potentially. It did, yes. Off of Lagana. Lagana got the touch of the ball with his studs. So it will be a corner kick, and now Jack Steele will go over to take it.
This corner kick brought to you by Peak Athletics. Performance training trusted by Port City Football Club.
So Steele with an in-swinger. This one is right on the backside of the 6-yard box. It's headed away, though, by Burlington. And now Gudino. Trying to break out. He finds Jerez. And it's won back quickly off Jerez by Jack Steele. Holt trying to get a foul there off of Trias, but referee says no dirtiness in that foul or in that challenge. Holt trying to create something potentially. So now we go back to possession for Burlington. Burlington United with a lot of those guys from Lenore Rhine and William Peace to be, in fact, in Greensboro as well, Pfeiffer, as well. Most of these guys play on turf fields in their college, so they're no stranger to turf fields and what that feels like for players. Here's that foul that we were talking about, or that potential foul. Not really much in it, and good no call from the referee there. Valverde played it to Trias. Now over to Hurley. Hurley's pass, though, blocked by Holt, and it'll be a Burlington throw-in. Once again, don't forget to like and share this video and comment who you think's going to score that first goal. I know we keep saying it, but make sure you get it in so you can be the one that said, oh, I predicted who was going to score and what team. And will it come off this throw-in?
Hey, everybody, don't forget to get your raffle tickets for the signed jersey here that we're going to give away at halftime. Raffle tickets are back behind the ticket counter.
And a good crowd out here at Legion Stadium on a Wednesday night, even after the rains. Nice to see good numbers out in Wilmington. Wilmington just begging for soccer activity. Former professional team, Wilmington Hammerheads here. That may have hit the elbow. Referee says no. So Burlington escaping as there's no VAR. They can't go back to it. Now here's Gudino. Can Burlington counter? He's in. Verdin is in, but it's cleared out by Christensen. So let's take a look. Did it hit the arm? Can't go back now, so no matter what we see, it won't matter. Powell crosses it in. And it does. It looked like it hit the elbow there of Trias. So maybe an opportunity that went astray for Port City FC, but it won't matter now. Lagana with a nice move, finding Verdin. That was actually Alvarenga with a nice move there. Alvarenga now throwing the ball in to Lagana and cleared out there by Port City. Now Powell on the break. Big switch. Menenke has to work hard to get to that one and keep it in bounds. Powell was offside, so he just let that one go back to Patno. Patno now finding Valverde. Valverde to Marshall. Back to Valverde. A little tiki-taka now from Burlington. Gudino, though, loses to Minisi. Minisi foul there by Marshall. And don't forget, Marshall on a yellow. Got to be careful. Gudino wanted the foul. Referee blows it back and stops the attack potentially from Port City there as Marshall is still on the ground. So 10 minutes left of regulation in this first half. Not sure there'll be much added time, maybe a minute once the 45 tick away in the first half. But a free kick 40 yards away from Powell. Looks like they'll find Steele to get a better angle at it potentially. He whips this one in towards the back part of the 6-yard box. That falls harmlessly into Patno's arms. Off the chest there of Hunter Wilson, it looked like. Unable to get his head to it, though. That's a tough situation. Do you go with your head or see if you can get some part of your leg on it? But obviously in between there, and decided to go with the chest, did Hunter Wilson. Hunter Wilson right there, losing the ball out of bounds. Jerez keeping possession for Burlington. Lagana chasing it down. And that clearance by Port City only goes as far as Hurley. Now Hurley trying to find Ariello. Ariano and Christensen collide together and Ariano stays down. But he's up now. Menenke slipped off the cut there when he tried to take a first step there. Now here is Verdin. Verdin finds Jerez. Jerez, long range effort blocked by Minisi. So it will be a corner for Burlington United. The Chileno of Jerez. That one definitely looked like it could cause some problems for Christensen.
Corner kick for Burlington Football Club.
So you see those signs over there for football state champions New Hanover High School, the team that plays here. Very successful in the football realm. Here's the corner kick. Christensen able to collect it off his line. He looks to go fast. He will. It's a 2-on-2 now, 3-on-2 if Holt can get there. For Port City FC, there's Wilson finding Powell. Powell trying to find Holt. He does. Holt, oh, he just scuffed it. Holt, those slides, keeps it in possession. Now Powell on strike. Oh, he just missed the top right corner. And Port City FC, Holt had a great opportunity at it. And he just went above the ball, but not before Port City still have a chance. Powell, though, sailed that one over, as you just saw. Here's that chance from Holt that I was mentioning. He just went over the ball a little bit and lost it, but fights back hard, and there is Powell, who booted it over, as you saw in the previous replay. So once again, Burlington escape unscathed from that attack from Port City. It's cleared out by Valverde. Now Hunter Wilson just goes all the way back to Christensen. Christensen, you know, not the normal goalkeeper we've seen. We've seen in the first 2 home games for Port City FC, Elias Mumford, but a little change might be for the better for Port City. Here it is to Powell, trying to slip it on one more time. It stays with Powell. Now he cuts back inside towards the PK spot. Last stitch challenge by Hurley, and he clears it only to Jack Steele at the top of the 18. Now dribbling inside, maybe a touch there. Referee says it's a foul on Steele, and it's potentially a yellow card. It will be on Steele. So a yellow card for Steele. Let's take a look back at it. He dribbles past 3 defenders, and the sliding challenge he got the yellow for. And that's a tough one for Steele. He didn't really go with his studs. He kept his studs turned out. And here's that chance for Powell. He cut inside, but there was Hurley, just sticking his left foot in there, and craziness ensued, but no goals have been scored yet. Holt, though, with a nifty move over Hurley. Holt trying to find Powell, maybe in the center of the box. He finds Steele, who's at the top of the 18. Strike, and finds the bottom right corner with a spider webs dwell. It's 1-0 to Port City FC. 41 minutes into the game. Jack Steele.
That goal was scored by number 8, Jack Steele.
What a finish from the player right at the top of the 18, and curls it beautifully past the outstretched arms of Patno. And still celebrating and trying to refocus the troops is Manisi, as you see him there with the captain's armband. But Port City FC and Jack Steele able to bulge the old onion bag, as the old say goes. Here it is once more. Steele, beautiful curler past the sliding challenge of Gudino as well. And there's a kink in the armor for Burlington, as it's 1-0 in favor of Port City. If you're supporting Port City on the stream, let us know. And we see you, Adriana. Oh, Melhor Lia Vascones. I think I just butchered that. Sorry about that. I'm only fluent in English, unfortunately. But Leo Vasconcelos on the bench. That's the player that we are keeping an eye on. Burlington United, though, looking for the response. And right before half, that can be tough. Not much time. Port City FC leaving it to a late in the first half for Port City. Patno boots that one long. Gudino, big challenge in there by Tepe, and it's a throw-in for Port City. Gudino will not like the outcome of that one. And I think the most impressive part of the shot by Steele is that there were 4 defenders from Burlington around him and in front of the goal when he took the strike on. Now Trias trying to connect, but Menenke jumps into the passing lane, but not before it's won back by Jerez. There is Ariano. Valverde tried to play it in, and now Jerez had to foul Menenke. Menenke's definitely been pressured a lot today. He's been putting his body on the line for Port City, that's for sure. And that's been a big difference between this and last season for Port City FC. A lot more effort in terms of pressuring and, you know, winning the ball back after possession, which is why they've already gotten off to a better start than in previous season. Menenke using his body well there to get by Valverde, but Valverde coming back hard and winning the ball off Menenke. It's touched off the foot, though, of Wilson. Or excuse me, that was Rivera. So Port City FC still have the ball in their possession. Here is Wilson, the aforementioned. Wilson making a run. Menenke, though, gets his head on it. Oh, maybe a handball by Valverde. There's Wilson, though. Big touch. Trias gets called not for the foul, but the recipient of the foul. Quite an interesting play there. Maybe a hand there, maybe more of a chest. But here we go on the other end. Verdin was driving hard inside the 18 now. Arieno wins it back strongly, and he takes a strike with his left. Whoa. He decided to take a go. Good challenge for Arieno there. So 45th minute closing in. Not sure how much added time there'll be. Maybe a minute is what I'm thinking up here in the booth. Valverde plays it back to Patno. Confirmation on 1 minute. Added time in this first half. So Steele with a little nifty fake there. Just couldn't connect with Wilson, though. So Patno looked to take the sting out of this first half and take as much seconds off the clock as he can before the first half ends. That one, though, not the greatest of punts from Patno, and puts the pressure back on for Burlington. There's a potential long ball to hold, but Hurley was on top of it. Jerez now connecting with Trias. Trias over to Hurley once more. There's Marshall unable to connect with it, though, so Minisi wins it back. But a bad touch by Tepe gives Burlington an opportunity to maybe go quick here. And there's the whistle. Right about a minute from the end of 45. We hit halftime. Port City FC 1 and Burlington United 0 at half. We'll be here for the second half. Jack Steele with a great curling finish to find the right corner of the net to open the scoring in the 41st minute. Make sure you stay tuned for the second half of this NPSL match, and like, comment, and subscribe, excuse me, and share. We'd love to see you back on this channel. And we'll take one more look at the goal of Port City.
If you haven't done so,
there's that attack starting here. There's Jack Steele right at the top of the 18. Beautiful curler past 4 Burlington United defenders. So we're at half. Port City FC 1, Burlington United 0. We'll be right back for the second half. And don't forget to comment who you think is going to score that next goal and who you think is going to win this game with Port City up right now. We'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this second half started.
The second half about to get kicked off and underway. Port City FC in the Navy. They lead 1-0 over Burlington United. Jack Steele, the lone goal in this game, the separator. We'll get a picture of Jack Steele. So the story for Jack Steele is, you see his haircut right there. He had braids, and he just got rid of his braids, and now he scored his first goal of the season. So different hairstyle, new player. Who said style doesn't matter in football? There he is right there. Took out the braids and has a different hairstyle and scores a goal. Style is very important as you get older and you play. So any kids listening? Contrary belief would say that style doesn't matter and doesn't make you feel better. But if you feel better, you play better. So that's the motto I live by. So now back to action after Burlington United got us kicked off in the second half. It was a foul on the Port City FC player, and we start off the second half with Burlington United looking to try not to lose the series and get swept by Port City FC and lose both games this season. No subs from either team at halftime. Obviously players warming up on the pitch during the halftime break. See that a lot. Minisi finding Rivera. Rivera driving, but defended well there by Ariana. Ariano was the one that had that defensive effort. Now passes it on and gets it back, does Ariano. Ariano looking inside for Lagana. Unable to find him, but here is Jerez. Jerez over to Hurley, now inside to Marshall, who's on a yellow card. Trias, the former professional now, dinks it over, trying to find Lagana. Instead, Lagana, big touch there, finds Holt, and Port City will take back possession as Tepe plays it over. Fatzinger, the new addition in the back line for Port City FC, now plays it forward to Minisi. Minisi over to Holt. Holt able to get it off his chest. There was a couple raindrops here at halftime. That has stopped now. But very humid. A lot of these players sweating through their jerseys. That blue, that, as I called it, ocean blue jersey of Burlington, looking ever darker now. And Holt and Steele there just miscommunicating. And welcome to all the fans watching at home. We thank you for tuning in with us. Like, subscribe to the channel, Port City FC YouTube. Glad you're tuned in with us. Make sure you comment for who you think is going to score the next game. Also, TSC YouTube. Thank you for tuning in there as well. Any platform that you might be watching in on. And make sure any platform to comment and say who you think is going to score the next goal. There, Steele gets fouled. Once again, good body positioning from him. Gudino just swiped the legs. Powell plays this one over the back line of Burlington and right into the hands of Patno. And there's definitely rain in the area. around Wilmington. You know, if you look at the radar, which I have, there's definitely rain. But right here in Legion Stadium, we are staying dry right now. We saw 2 lightning delays in the women's game between Port City FC women's team and NCFC. That game ended 5-1 in favor of Port City FC women's, so congratulations to them. They are now 4-0 on the season. They're off to a strong start in their second year and potentially could make a deep run if they choose to be in the playoffs. Only the future knows the answer there, though. Here is Ariano. Back over to Valverde. Valverde now dribbling inside. Trying to hold it up there was Alvarenga. But won back quickly by Burlington. So Alvarenga there did lose it, but won it back now. So Trias plays it back to Patno. Big switch across the field. Now Hurley with space to go into. Hurley, no pressure as of right now. Steele did finally meet him. Now it's over to Ariano. Ariano finding Vernon. Now back to Ariano. Big sliding challenge from Menenke. It's out for a goal kick. What a slide and what a challenge that was from Menenke. Not only able to end the scoring chance for Burlington, but wins his team a goal kick. So Christensen now with the ball live in play after it was passed from Wilson. Menenke off his chest, but too much of a wide touch there as now Marshall unable to find Alvarenga. There's Steele trying to touch it on to Powell, but it's knocked away by Alvarenga. Foul, though, called on Jerez. To the other captain. Captain on captain there. Once again, Port City FC lead 1-0 in the 52nd minute off a Jack Steele goal in the 41st. Christensen now with the ball at his feet, takes a touch out from his right foot. Pressure there by Lagana. And the pressure by Lagana ends up helping Verdun win the ball now. And here is Gudino. Gudino trying to drive in on Menisi. Trying to go towards the end line is Gudino. Maybe he'll cut in. He will now. He'll find Verdun. Verdun plays it over to Alvarenga. Loses it though. Tepe, great defensive work in with a little help from Fatzinger. Now Tepe on the run. Hurley and Tepe go together. And it goes off of Hurley. Shoulder to shoulder there, so fair play, says the referee. Nothing wrong with a little physical contact. And Hurley, once he went down to the ground, he knew that he just needed to get that ball out of bounds, or Tepe would have been gone. Marshall now trying to fend off the pressure of Menenke. He does there. Here's Trias. Trias finds Jerez. Good push on by Jerez to try and give Lagana a chance. Whistle blows and it's Port City ball. Here's that chance from Burlington earlier when Verdun was driving in. Ultimately resulted in nothing for Burlington. They did get a chance. And in soccer, all it takes is a couple of chances to really get some momentum building your way. But here, Burlington will have to play some defense. Menenke tries to cross it, but he probably could have taken a couple more touches. Wish he would have, honestly, probably, if he looks back at it. But here, Port City FC still have the ball. Tepe now plays it out wide over to Holt. Holt will look for a cross. There's Powell. No one on him, and Powell scuffed the header. Powell with a great opportunity, unmarked. Free header. As we take another look at it, the defensive line just stays stationary for Burlington, but Powell just couldn't connect on the header. So remember that chance in the 54th minute. If Burlington are able to come back, not to the dismay of Powell, as he would feel heartbroken if that comes back to haunt Port City. We'll see, though. Port City will look to double up their lead and secure this game potentially, but Burlington might want to say something different. Menenke, though, with some nifty footwork, pulling it back, though. 3 Burlington defenders around him. Trias there, able to get a foot in, and Powell once again just dumped it long and out of bounds on the end line. Powell's still thinking about that chance, I think. There will be a sub coming in for Burlington. Here on the next whistle for Burlington, will have a substitute. Here's Marshall, though. Burlington trying to get something before that substitution occurs. Hurley now driving. No pressure right now. Here's Steele, though, that down presses. Lagana now. Lagana spinning around. Now it's into Gudino. Gudino out wide to Alvarenga. That cross, though, from Alvarenga off the skip went right into the hands of Christensen. And you see that Alvarenga really tried to whip that one in and put a lot of spin on it to make it go towards the top of the box, but just not enough, and it skipped harmlessly to Christensen. The touch from Powell leads to a Valverde through ball that was only through to the goalkeeper of Port City. Wilson there finds, or was looking for Powell, but no connection was made, and we've seen a lot of long balls go astray today, and a lot of passing in the back has been good. It's just whenever they got to the middle portion of the field, they just dump it into the channels or try to dump it long from both of these teams. And you can take whatever chance you get on the counterattack. That's where this game has been made, and that's where we've seen Port City FC score a lot of their goals. Here they've gotten a takeaway, and here, once again, when they thought they've lost it, they retrieve possession once more. Now, there is Wilson. Wilson plays it over to Tepe. Tepe all the way back to Fatzinger. Fatzinger will play it in between Lagana and Gudino. Now Fatzinger, big swing with his left foot, trying to find Rivera. Rivera running onto it. Big contact between him and Ariano. Ariano losing the battle, though, as Rivera won that. And now it's with Menenke. Wilson Steele left that one. Not sure if Tepe knew that, though, but Tepe is not afraid of contact. Puts his shoulder to it. Now he's got his hand on his back. That was definitely heavy contact for Tepe there. Oh, there's a through ball that worked out for Powell. Wilson just left it unintentionally. Powell, though, was offsides. He was from that replay there. But it would have been a great play for Port City. So we have 2 subs now for Burlington. And 2 for Port City as well. So it will be the end of the day for Brennan Lagana.
Entering the match for Burlington United.
And it'll also be the end for Junior Ariano. Jorge Limas from William Peace with his fellow teammates Joseph Hurley will enter the game, and Port City FC loses
Number
2 players as
17.
well. It will be number 11, Caleb Powell, who's had a couple chances go astray, and Adam Holt as well. So it will be number 12 for Port City FC.
Also entering the match for the Port City Goals, number 12.
Also a new striker for Port City after Powell makes way. It's number 17, Hamid Asa, excuse me, Hamid, the striker for Port City. Daniel Garvilia is wearing number 12 today instead of his usual 21. That's what I think we've been informed. So Garvilia will take place on the pitch. So Jorge Limas there getting a touch and won his team a throw-in. And you can easily tell the new players, they don't have the sweat-stained jersey. As do the other players on the pitch. Fresh legs trying to make an impact over on that far side. And Burlington now maybe have the momentum in their favor. There's Valverde. So 3 subs being made by Burlington already and 2 for Port City. Early inside, Jerez getting his foot in there, and Christensen able to collect it safely. It's a new left wing back for Port City. Jorge Limas is up top, as we said. Alvarenga. Oh, and just past the outstretched arms of Christensen. That one had a chance to really cause some problems for Port City defensively. And that really came out of nowhere. Just a bad pass, and Jerez decides to take it first time. And those are the moments that are created from nothing. Now Tepe driving hard, Menenke making the run. Tepe though unable to connect. Strong leg there by Trias. Gudino now driving, looking for Verdin. He decides to take it himself, does Gudino. Now inside the 18, taking on Wilson. Coming out is Christensen and getting big. Does Christensen. Making himself as wide as a Mack truck there. And Christensen able to collect it. That's the second corner we've seen that just goes right into the hands of Christensen from Gudino. Christensen well over 6 foot, 6.5 feet as well. So tall stature definitely playing a part there. Now Steele getting around 2 defenders, Marshall, but unable to connect with Hamid. Hamid though winning the ball back thanks to Menenke. Now Wilson sprinting hard at it, but it goes into the safe hands of Patno and in his box. Christensen now will look to settle the game down for Port City. And the other substitute for Burlington United was number 21, Evangelios Paparapios. Paparapis now out wide, playing defense on Rivera. Strike from Menike, blocked. Oh, that was a dangerous deflection for Burlington, but it skirts wide and to safety for now for Burlington. Deflection took it wide. Corner now coming in courtesy of Jack Steele.
And this corner kick sponsored by Wilmington Brewery.
Runners diving in, back corner of the 6. Wilson trying to keep it in bounds, but does not, and it's out for another corner. Wilson thinks it's out for a goal kick, but he's going to be pleased when he finds out that it's out for a corner once again. He started taking off back to his center back position.
And this corner kick presented by
taking quickly now. Steele crossing it in, looking for Garvilla. Another substitute looks to be getting ready for Port City FC. Number 9, Keegan Pete. Heavy contact, Tepe on balance there. Getting around him was Limas. Limas, a very physical player. We've seen that at William Peace University. William Peace University actually just won the USA South this past season, the conference tournament. They were the 4 seed, but they made it all the way and won the tournament to make the NCAA tournament in D3 men's soccer. Tepe, who's the left back, has gone central now for Port City. Menisi looking to connect. Strong challenge in from Marshall. Wilson getting tripped up, but nothing doing, says the referee. No foul called. Trias being pressured by Hamid. Trias looking for Limas, but no connection there. So Christensen able to restart the possession. 65 minutes, we've just passed the hour mark, not but 6 minutes ago, as we're now in the 66th minute. And it's getting about that time of the game where games are decided and points are given out. So Port City FC right now, they're leading 1-0, thanks to a Jack Steele screamer almost. Rivera gets tripped up and referee said no advantage, so Rivera will get the foul and the free kick. And here we might see the substitution for Port City FC. It won't come yet, so Pete will have to wait on the sideline. If you watch the women's game, you know that Karina Pete and Kylie Pete are on the women's team. Definitely relationship there in terms of family members. They are Keegan Pete's sisters. So a throw-in for Port City means that it's the end of the day for Jackson Menisi. And it will be Keegan Pete entering. Keegan Pete, who's played his college days and now will play at a different location. He's playing at Roanoke now.
Keegan Pete.
So a changing of scenery for Keegan Pete, as now he's playing his college ball at Roanoke, which is a D3 school. Valverde now, taking his time. Gudino now, trying to shake off Pete, fresh legs of Pete. Marshall getting tripped up there, but able to get it over to Alvarenga. Lagana was the player that was subbed off, the striker that got replaced by Limas. Sorry, I said Alvarenga was subbed off earlier. Misspoke. So Alvarenga still on this right side. Heavy use of the arms there called on Port City and Wilson. Now Lemus gets through two Port City players of Garvilia and Pete. Now it's over to Verdun. Verdun driving in on Rivera. We've seen him cut in a lot today. Jerez doesn't get anything for Burlington there. He was trying. He got the touch after it went out of bounds. So 3 subs for Port City, 3 for Burlington so far. This will be the 4th for Burlington, and we're going to see number 9.
Entering the match for Burlington United,
Mbappe Mesisia. Another one of those USA South players I was mentioning. The D3 conference. He plays at Pfeiffer University. There's a Greensboro player, a Pfeiffer, William Peace. Anybody knows the D3 conference, then they will know those names I just said. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to the channel. We would much appreciate that, as that would definitely help us grow, and your comments help us learn and also predict the score of this game. If you want to shoot in a comment now, last 20 minutes of this game, do you think it's going to stay 1-0 in favor of Port City, or do you think either one of these teams is going to score again? Let us know. Please, we are awaiting your answers. And now some subs have been made for both of these teams. Some new faces on the pitch, and you never know what that can create. We've seen a lot of goals scored from the bench this season for both of these teams. Here is Hurley, the William Peace player. That one was to Jerez, but Jerez bounced it too hard into the turf. He stays down for the second. But he's up now, is Jerez. So Christensen gets play restarted over to Fatzinger. And Steele, who's now wearing the captain's band, finds Garvilia. So number 9, Mbappe Mesisia. He goes by Mo by his teammates. And what a name he has. He's got one of those unique names that you don't forget very soon, that's for sure. Does Mbappe Mesisia. Wilson able to clear it away. He gets it to Menenke now. Can Port City counter? Burlington's pressuring hard, and Menenke gets it knocked off of a Burlington player. That was Paparappas. So a yellow card there for Wilson. Oh, he pulled down Marshall.
Hey everybody, if you're drinking beer, just know that last call to buy alcohol.
So he pulled down Marshall, and now there is Menenke down with a cramp, it looks like. So yellow card for Wilson, the 3rd one we've seen, 2nd on Port City FC. And those are always a tough, situation there. Wilson gets pulled, and then Wilson pulls down Marshall. And I think it's one of those situations where the referee sees the retaliation more than the original action. So you have to be careful, because that's the one that always gets called and gets the cards. Able to keep it in was Jerez. Oh no, it just straight out of bounds. Looked like ref might have kept it in play for a second or two, but here is Rivera now. Rivera pressured heavily by Verdun. Wilson just has to dump it out of the zone and try and get it into the offensive area. There's a flick on by Wilson. Garvilia with a sliding challenge, able to keep it on his feet too. Great challenge from Garvilia. Pressured though by Msisie. Oh, and Trias just stood his ground and moved his feet. Just a short little shuffle there. Excuse me, that was Alex Walker with the yellow card. I've been saying Wilson. I was calling him Alex Wilson all game. Sorry about that for the folks at home. Number 7 is Alex Walker. Wilson is the center back. I've been getting him right. But Alex Walker, number 7, is the midfielder. Here's this tackle by Garvilia. A great challenge for him. A beautiful lunge in there and able to keep it from going out of bounds. That's just brilliant football. Unable to do anything with it, though, was Garvilia. So Walker is number 7 on Port City FC. Wanted to make sure that everyone knew that. I've been saying Wilson, so sorry about that once more. So we're into the final quarter hour here at Legion Stadium, historic Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. Marshall with loads of space. If he's able to get a touch to it, he doesn't though. Menenke was down with a cramp. He's back up now. We've seen 4 subs from both teams, so both teams saving their subs, or their one last sub, which is a case of an injury. Hamid trying to win the ball back. There's 2v2 now. A little small side again. Oh, and it's absolutely skunked by Patno. He just opened his foot up too much there. Let's get a look at it. He just was looking for Hurley, but just opened up to his right foot too much and went out of bounds. He'll hope that Port City doesn't score here and he can erase that out of his mind, as goalkeepers so often have to do with mistakes, because the next moment can be even bigger and lead to a goal as they're the last player. Goalkeepers have to have a mind of a goldfish, meaning that they forget very quickly. Marshall now looking for the run of Msisie. Msisie off his chest to the chest of Tepe. Msisie just unable to soften that blow off his chest and keep it at his feet. There is Walker. Trias now. We see the possession once again for Burlington, but time is of the essence and it is ticking away for Port City, or for Burlington, excuse me. Port City will love to see the clock ticking away. Paparapis is going to take the throw in for Burlington, and now the captain's armband has been passed to Trias as Jerez, Freddy Gomez Jerez comes off.
United,
there he is on the sideline. Number 25, Leo Vasconcelos on the pitch now. I know a couple fans at home will be happy about it. Let us know how excited you are about that, as Vasconcelos is on the pitch and looking to make a difference and potentially get the tying goal to knot this game up at 1. Let us know how excited you are. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment on who you think is going to score. And if the subs are going to make a difference, is Vasconcelos going to get a goal? There's a free kick now that Gudino is about to whip in, that Burlington really have a good opportunity. All the players on the PK spot. Now the runs diving in towards the front post. Cleared away by Steele. Not sure who got a foot on it originally. It looked like a Port City player was able to get a boot on it and clear it away. Limas trailing behind the play in an offside position right now. Marshall now trying to connect with Hurley. He does. Hurley right around the 50-yard line, midfield. Limas trying to find Limas was Hurley. Those are teammates at William Peace University. Christensen off his line. And Christensen stands his ground. Christensen, I'm sure, will take all the time he can off the clock each time he holds the ball. He gets it over to Wilson, and now it's with Meneke. So the captain now for Burlington, Trias, over to Msisier. One back by Walker, who's on a yellow. Don't forget that sliding challenge from Marshall, who's on a yellow as well. Dangerous for him to go in, but a great challenge as he made sure that he was not going to foul Walker there. So a red card for the head coach of Port City FC, so they'll have to go the last 10 minutes without their head coach on the sidelines, will Port City. He's got to go back to the locker room if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look and see if we can get some. I think he was upset about this challenge right there. So yeah, that's the end of the day for Nate Torbett, the coach of Port City FC. His team up 1-0 right now. Burlington won't have a numerical advantage. There is the head coach shaking his head. Trying to stay out of the view of the referee so he can keep an eye on the game without having to be in the locker room. Now he's hiding behind that bleacher there. You see him right there. I'm not sure what the rule is on that, but nonetheless. So there will be a sub for Port City FC. Keenan Lieber, number 21, comes on, and coming off is Max Benenke.
Also coming in, number 13, Taylor Vorbrich.
Taylor Vorbrich will come on as well. Vorbrich takes the place of Jack Steele, so the captain's armband now changing places once more for Port City. It's on the left arm of Hunter Wilson. Alex Walker, who's looked gassed today, gets a foul on Marshall. Marshall and Walker have really gone at it today. It's been a fierce battle. If there's been a matchup that you should keep your eye on, it's those two. Number 7 on Port City in the Navy and 20 on the Ocean Blue of Burlington. Both on yellow cards, but they're both playing like they don't have any worries, and they're definitely not on yellow. So that's been a definitely battle. Pete runs over it. Now Walker finds Tepe. Tepe, long strike. That one always sailing high, though. Interesting play design. It's a play off the training ground, that's for sure, but execution wasn't there for Port City FC. Now Trias finds the head of Lieber. Walker with a big touch. He's running onto it, but Trias gets his shoulder in the way. That's an interesting situation, as Trias isn't necessarily playing the ball, but not sure Walker would have got there anyway. So referee says no further action necessary. Hurley finds inside to Gudino, and he's fouled by Pete. Gudino stays on the floor for a second, holding his right hip, it looks like. He took a hard fall there on the turf, as you see. Messissier wins his team a throw-in. Head coach of Port City, Nate Torbett, over sitting on his hood of his car. So we'll see if we can get a shot of that here in a second, but so that's an interesting development. Now here's a shot by Marshall. Whoa, that definitely had some outside spin on it. There is Torbett again. He's walking back towards the locker room now. He was at the car over to the left. Someone needs to let him know that he should watch it on the YouTube if he has to go into the locker room. We would love his views and see what he has to say about the broadcast. But thank you for watching in. Remember, like, subscribe, and comment. We would love to see your comments about anything. If it's about what food you ate today, that's perfectly fine. We'd love to talk about what food you ate today. Past tense is very important there. Tepe tripped there by Lemus. Tepe just always prepared for that foul. That was a very tactical and high IQ play. Look at this. He pulls it back, dragged the leg. Beautiful from Tepe to get the foul, as he knows Lemus is going to go in with his foot. There is Vorbrich. Vorbrich driving in. The touch not cleared away by Burlington. Ooh, that was sneaky by Trias. A neat little roll for Trias. Play gets restarted quickly here. Marshall now. But Vorbrich was creating an attack there, and Trias was able to skillfully maneuver out of it. Gudino, who got back up after holding his hip for a couple minutes. Now trying to take on Tepe, but he's got Garvilia as well behind him. 2v1 now for Port City, but Gudino able to get out of it. Port City now with 9 players behind the ball, not including the goalkeeper. Definitely playing for this 1-0 win. 86th minute now. Anything but the kitchen sink for Port City defensively they have to face. Burlington are going to be throwing everything at him. Here is Verdin with a shot, but not much mustard on that one. For Verdin. Verdin had to find a small gap between the 2 defenders of Port City. But the lights are getting brighter as the sun starts to set, almost shade across the whole pitch now. And that means that the moments get bigger. We know the moments get bigger because we're in the 87th minute now. And it's a 1-score game. Port City FC trying to hold on without their head coach, who got assessed a red card in the 80th minute. Garvilia trying to put this game to bed, get another goal on the board for Port City. Walker, beautiful stop and turn. He's been so skillful with his feet today. Hamid, though, doesn't able. Oh, wow! What happened there? Hamid gets credit for the goal, but an absolute blunder from Patno. And he's distraught.
And goal for Port City goals.
And you feel bad for a goalkeeper in this situation, being a prior goaltender, and it just slips through the legs. Just a lack of concentration there from Patno. And it's a tough situation, tough feeling for that young player to be in. Definitely something he won't like to see. But Port City FC have doubled their lead in the most abstract way.
And entering the pitch for Burlington United.
So Burlington have made a sub. Number 8, Paul Stewart, proper Scottish name right there, has entered the game, and now Burlington will have to really dump all the balls long.
Burlington United, number 17.
Clayton Verdin comes off, so a real big offensive presence. Well, he's still on the pitch, so excuse me. But he's been good today, Verdin has. But Stewart now playing the center defensive role. Probably more attacking now. Wouldn't be surprised to see Burlington try and throw some more numbers forward. So Hamid scores the goal for Port City. I'm not sure it's one that he'll like, but he'll take anyone he can get, that's for sure. But for Patno, you just feel bad for him. That's a mental mistake, and it's just one of those that you never want to happen in the game. Now Liam is trying to get on the end of this long ball. He tried to take it first time. He had Christensen out of his box. So not the bad idea there. That was the right idea. But he just didn't get the right contact. So into the 90th minute, we still have a couple, 40 seconds to be exact, of the regulation 90, as here's Lieber. He takes a long-range effort over the head of Patno, and a goal for Lieber. Absolute fantastic Chipperuski by Lieber.
Goal scored by
Here it is again, about 40 yards away, over the head of Patno, and Patno is just head in hands, just distraught. It's been a tough couple of minutes for him, as you see there, the shake of the head. But Keenan Lieber, the substitute, his second of the season, off the bench as well in the first home game. Here it is once again. That's more like 43 yards out. Beautiful Chipperuski from Lieber. And 2 goals in 3 minutes for Port City FC has put this game to sleep. It's 3-0 in favor of Port City. And we're going to see 4 minutes of stoppage time. And this game, though, seems to be done and dusted.
And we have 2 minutes stoppage time.
So now a stoppage here as Port City FC will look to take as much off the clock now as they can. They've got the insurance goals in their back pocket, that's for sure. And what an end to the game. If you just tuned in now, well, you caught the best part of the game. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, Port City FC YouTube, to get notifications about later games, and TSC as well. Great games on there. There's a offsides call on Burlington. We appreciate your comments as well. We see them. And let us know how you feel. If you're happy, mad, sad, upset, emotionless, we're here for you. There, it's headed back. And Patno gets it in his hands. I'm sure he appreciates feeling the ball, as he's had a couple go into the back of his net. One through his legs and another over his head. A little dink by Keenan Lieber. Hamid came back from offside position, so he'll get called and it'll be offsides at midfield. You don't see that very often, the ball being placed at midfield on offsides. So Jack Steele got the scoring started in the 41st. Hamid scored in the 86th. And in the 88th, it was Keenan Lieber. Port City FC, well, they've left everything late in the half. Mcisier trying to have something. Here's Limas, takes a touch inside, strike. Christensen, though, able to touch it wide. That took a weird bounce. Just able to palm it wide was Christensen. Now the ball's back in play off the corner kick. Christensen, though, right into his palms, and he collapses to the floor. There's your 3 whistles. Port City FC leaves it late in both halves. They score 1 in the 41st, as we said, in the 86th and the 88th. Port City FC uses 3 goals from 3 players.
And that's the match, ladies and gentlemen.
And it
Finals.
is final here in Wilmington, North Carolina. 3 Port City FC, 0 Burlington United. That's all we have for you today, folks. 2 great games. Port City FC women's winning, and Port City FC men's getting the wins here at historic Legion Stadium.
The men will play at 2.
Here's the first goal of the game. Jack Steele with a beautiful curler with his right foot and gets it past Patno. That opened the scoring in the 41st. Port City FC then were trying to defend late, almost parking the bus, but got a quick counterattack. And Hamid able to get the second for Port City. A weird one, that's for sure. A nice slow roller, but Patno just let it go through the legs. That's a tough one for a keeper. I've had that feeling before. He'll have to shake that one off, but he didn't shake it off as quick as he should have, as Port City FC and Keenan Lieber were able to get a 43-yard arrow into the hearts of Burlington to make it 3-0 and end the game. So those are your 3 goals, and that is a farewell for us today on the broadcast. My name is Zachary Buttright. It's been a pleasure for you to be a part of this, and I've really enjoyed it. To everyone involved with the stream and here at Port City FC, we thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you enjoyed it and come back for more games. Port City FC 3, Burlington United 0.